but you can do that in your own time. So we have the car there. So let me just, the other thing is I don't think I did. So we're going to set up the camera, and I'm just going to put a camera for now, and then I tell you how to do the isometric camera in a minute. So if you come here you press N for November up there. You come here to say item tool and view. You go to view, and then you have camera to, camera to view there. Click that one on, and then you press 0. Yeah, so now this is my camera view inside that red thing. And then I can just move normally, and that is my camera. So if you click this off and then you start moving again, you went back to your perspective view. Okay, so press 0. This is my camera view at the moment. And then I need to come here and click this to adjust. So I'm kind of adjusting somewhere. It's going to be something like this. Let's see what I had in my original one. Oh, I have everything in shot. So, okay. So I'm just going to bring like that. Okay, so everything is in shot. And then you can, by looking at your camera view, you can decide, you can move things around, so it's a clear. Okay, so I've made some adjustments. I made the car smaller, I made the little lamp smaller, and add some lines on the road. Yeah, just adjust the way you like. So you know now how to put a camera. You press 0. So now we have, this is what our perspective camera. Yeah, it's right there. So now we're just going to create the isometric camera. So I'm just going to go and add a new object here. So add camera, no object, the camera. And I'm going to call this isocam. And then if you open, call that camera 1 there, isocam as well. So as at the beginning of the video, an isometric camera will make things appear 3D in a 2D environment, as we are in already 3D. So it is actually a little bit of fake. It's a fake 2D appearing 3D. The whole idea is to get the look and feel of an isometric drawing. If you come here, camera, set, if you want to see the active camera, this is our camera 1 there. Let me just move this one, the isocam, to my collection up there, so it's easy. Okay. Okay, if I press 0, this is my active camera at the moment, which is that camera there. And my isocam now is over there. And what I can do now, make it that as an active camera. So I'm going to go to my view, cameras, set active object as camera. So it's control 0 as well is the shortcut. Okay, so there you go. So now this is the view of my camera. Can't see anything because the position of it. So if I come up here on the corner here, on the corner left, and then click and hold, you can open a new window here, right? And this one we can just move around. So this is our perspective view, and then we can see that that's where our camera is. So let's set this camera. So let's go, first thing, we need to remove the rotation to 0, or the rotation here. So you select the camera rotation, and for the isometric, there is the right measurements there in terms of angle that we need to rotate this camera. So it's 54.7. In reality, it's actually a little bit more, but we only want 1 decimal. So we're going to put 54.7 in X, 0 in Y, and 45 degrees in Z. Okay. So as you can see there, we have the right angle now. So let's just move the camera away now because it's at position 0, 0. So I put 30. Let's see where it's going. Just about 30 meters. Minus 30. We can adjust that. And then 30. Okay, so we can see now. But still, we can get closer. Still not an isometric. It's in the right angle. But an isometric camera is an orthographic camera. Yeah, so it's not perspective camera. So if you go down here to camera, down there, right, you need to have the camera selected for that, otherwise it's not going to appear here. And where it says here type perspective, we're going to put orthographic. orthographic. There you go. So we have an orthographic camera now. And then the way you move forwards and backwards is by using, and then you can use the shift Y and Z in order to frame it properly. Yeah. So to think about creating kind of a background. So let's create that background. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a plane. Yeah. And then scale that plane. So to cover that, go to edit mode and then select those edges there. Select this edge, and the other edge, and then extrude up. Okay. And then we're going to select those edges. So we're going to kind of smooth it out. We don't want any harsh corners. So we're going to bevel. And then we bevel those. Maybe I can put here 3 segments. Okay, and that's it. So go to object mode and then select shade smooth. Yeah, so that will give us a kind of nice background. And also I'm just going to move slightly down, just a tiny bit, because at the moment it's in exactly the same place. So I can press number 1 here and make sure it's not overlapping. It's just there a tiny bit down. I think we're going to do, we're going to set up a frame. I don't want, I just want a square render, a square image. So here, if you come down here in the output properties, say resolution X and Y. So it's 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to put 1080 by 1080. So it's going to be square. And then you can adjust, come to the camera, and then adjust your camera. The next thing now is the lighting. So if we go here to the viewport shading and this one here. Yeah, so we had a light that comes with, the default scene. And here you can see how it's going to be rendered, shaded. And you probably have here in the Eve, in the render engine here, go to the top here, render properties. So that's what you get. We actually, for this image, we don't want to, render Eve is a kind of a real-time rendering. The new versions of Blender, this is a lot better. But we're going to just work with cycles. Okay. And now we just have this one light, and it doesn't look very good, and it's casting a very strong shadow, and I don't want that. As you can see in my image there, I want something quite bright like this. Okay. So let's delete that light. Okay. And if we go down here to the world, going down here, you can see world. Okay, just bring this down. And then you have surface background, color. It says gray because that's the gray environment. Yeah, and strength, I think it was 1. Yeah, so you should have something like that, strength 1. And that's why you see a little bit, everything a bit gray. Okay, because it comes from our gray environment. So if we click on this little yellow dot, we can, a new window opens, and we can actually put texture. So we're going to use a sky texture. Okay. Let's just add a sky texture. That wall, it became really bright. I need to, in order to see it properly, I need to be in my last one here, viewport shading. Here you can see kind of colors, and here you can see the proper lighting. So in the sky texture, there's one more thing that I need to show you before I do the color. I was doing the video and I wasn't recording, so I had to redo now. If you go back here to the render properties, you go down to color management, and here I left, I don't know what was the default here, but I put medium high contrast. What kind of image do you want? You can choose here low contrast and so on. So I'm going to put medium high. Okay, and the other thing I did as well was to come up here and the render and the noise threshold, the maximum sample is 100. Yeah, and just because I think this was a kind of 1,000 or 2,000 or something. Yeah, here I want to just, as I'm testing, I just want 100. So it's because the higher you have in terms of samples, the more computing processing is going to need. Okay, and the denoise, you can leave that as tick on as well. Okay, so we are now in cycles. You can put here, if you have a GPU compute, we're going back to our background texture, which is our sky. Okay, so here you can, I should just go back now. As you can see, we have a sky now. Okay. But you can control kind of the sun of the size, angle, and sun intensity. I think it's a bit too bright. So I made some tests and I came up with a kind of 90 here. Sun intensity, I put 0.5. And I put elevation 75, elevation of the sun, what time it is. Sun rotation, I don't remember how much I put it, but 45, I don't know. And then I put its strength 0.1. That's kind of more what I'm looking for. Okay. If I render this now, if I come up here and it's a render image or press F12, you would be able to see what the image looks like. Yeah. So now we need to start working in colors, and then we can always go back to the lighting again. Okay, we need to add our materials and think about our color palette. Color palette, I'm going to come here to this website. It's color.adobe.com. Okay. And then you get to here, and you have many ways you can create a color palette by using the color wheel. I'm not going to explain the color wheel in this video here. But you can extract theme. For example, I had my original image that I was inspired by to create this videos, the scene, and this is a kind of color palette. I end up using a different palette, but you can choose here. You can bring any color, any image, and then extract colors from here. For example, I am in my Pinterest now, and for example, here I search isometric illustrations, and I can see what kind of colors you're using, the kind of bright, flat. But you need to have a palette. That's one of the things I see my students making that mistake all the time. They just choose randomly colors. You need to think about a cohesive palette, and you use one palette for your project. Okay, so we're going to create that. You could bring one from here, for example. Oh, I like that one. And then you save this image. Yeah. And then bring it to Adobe. So replace image. And I think I put it somewhere here. What's this one? This one. Yeah. And then I can say, okay, which parts do you want to extract? The colorful, the bright areas, the muted ones, the deep. Yeah. You could extract the whole thing and save all of this and use as your palette. That could be one thing. I want to come here so if you come here to explore as well in the Adobe website, you can come here and explore. You can see, you can type anything here. So you have some options here, some summer, for example, very bright summery colors, or neutral. It gives you some ideas. Yeah, definitely it's not what we're going for. Primary colors, okay, which is kind of a little bit more what we're looking for our high street. I am looking for some kind of bluish and some reds and some yellow. So I quite like this one. I might just use this one. So let's just say, okay, I'm going to use this one. If I don't like it, I can always change it. So I'm going to download this as a JPEG and primary colors. Okay, this is what I'm going to use. So if you don't have Photoshop, you can use any other photo editing, but I'm going to open in Photoshop. I have an image here that I create a new file which is 1020 by 1020 pixels. So you just press new and put those measurements there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to open that image there. Is the primary colored one, is this one. Okay, so you see when you download this, what it comes, it gives you that. So I'm going to open that, control copy, and control V here, and shift T, control T, sorry, to resize. And what I'm going to do here, I want to create a wider range of colors. I mean, these are going to be my colors that I'm going to use, but I wanted to create different tints, which means add more white and lighter versions, and also shades, which is like adding more black, make it darker. So I can have some grays as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here. So I'm going to just select, just create a new layer here. And I'm just going to select that. And I'm going to go with my color picker, which is here, color picker. Click that one. And then with my paint bucket, which is G, paste. Okay. And then I go back there, which is M. So M, move across here. Yeah. The color picker again, eyedropper tool. Let's go in Photoshop, which is I. Click that one, go to your paint bucket, which is G, and then paste. And then keep doing that. So I'm going here. So I have those. I can turn this other one off. Actually, I don't delete. I can delete. I don't need anymore. So I have this, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to now select a square area here at the top, and I'm going to go to my image, adjustment, hue and saturation. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make it the lighter bit. So I'm just going to increase lightness and decrease the saturation a little bit, and move the hue a tiny bit to the left, just a tiny bit. Okay, so that I have a lighter version, and I'm going to come this way, and I'm going to do again to adjustments, hue and saturation, and I'm going to make it dark. So I'll go to lightness, not too dark, yeah, because we don't really want that image to be too dark. So back like this, increase the saturation, okay, and the hue move to the other way, to the right a little bit, okay. So this is going to be kind of my color palette, and I also want to get maybe another bit here, and I'm going to go to image adjustment, saturation. I'm just going to bring the entire saturation down, and maybe make it a little bit lighter because I want some really light ones as well. Okay. Or just you can save as or export. So I can save. I'm going to save a copy, save as a JPEG or PNG, maybe PNG, and I'm going to put my color palette, PNG, save. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Blender now, and I'm going to go to my shading tab at the top here. So in the shading tab, what you have your view up there, so you can put 0, and then you have your camera view. Here you have some nodes. You should be world. So when you click an object here, you would see the material appear there. I don't have any material, so. Oh yeah, that one I have material. Okay, so it appears here. And here you have an image. So we're going to bring a new image here. We're going to say open, and I'm going to bring that color palette in there. Okay, I'm just going to use this. It's going to be easier to pick, right? So I have to think about, like, so my original one, these are completely different colors, yeah. So, but I know I want each building to be a different color, and I have some kind of shading on the pavement, right? Let's see. So let me start with the pavement and the road, maybe. Let's start with the road. So I'm going to create new and call it road material. And you see here, roughness is how shiny the object is. So I want it to be, I don't want any shiny bits. I don't want it to be glossy. So I'm going to put my roughness to 1. And the color, I want a kind of dark gray. So I come here, click that, and I click this gray. So that's my color. Let's have a look there. I could go darker with the road, so I maybe choose the darker one. I can always adjust the palette if I'm not happy. I think maybe it's a little bit too dark, so I can come here and just bring it up a little bit. Okay, tiny bit. Okay, so that is my road. Now I click here. For the pavement, I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it pavement. And again, I don't want any, I want the roughness to be 1. And I'll come here with the color and I go to maybe the color now. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I create that and I want the other one now to be the same color. So I don't need to create a new one. I come here, click, and go down to the color I just created. It should be called pavement. Yeah, so it's starting to look nice. Now I'm going to decide the color of my first building. I will do this kind of yellowish color. So I'm going to click that one. In fact, I'm just going to go now in my perspective view. I just want to get closer to it. I'm going to come here. I don't have any material for that one, so I'm just going to call it yellow building. And then I'm going to choose that color there. Okay, so here, this is when I start. Maybe I use for the roof a darker version of it. Okay, so again, roughness. You see, if I put roughness 0, it becomes kind of shiny. Well, you see, you can kind of get reflections from all over, and I don't want that. I just want a flat color with no reflections. So I want that. Okay. And for those windows, I do have some colors already prepared. The window 1 frame. Yeah. So that one, the frame, I can change now the color. I want to come here and make it maybe the darker version. Yeah. I would like to make it even darker, so I'm just going to bring it down. See, I'm not changing the color, I'm just changing the value. Too much. Okay. Yeah. And so the window 1 frame, I'm probably going to put it in here as well, so I can use the same one. So I'm going to go to my window 1 frame. Okay. And the roof. Okay, so for the window, let's see what I did to my other one. The window I just left a little bit quite, just a light, very light gray. So I'm gonna come here, and I know that that one is a window one glass. So what I might do is just bring the alpha down a little bit, so it's example. I came here, okay, and this one, for example, I just made a copy, and it says that it has the window frame one, okay. What I can do here is with that one selected, just delete this from there. Go back here. So I removed that. So I need to add one here. And I said, which one do you want to add? I want to set the window frame to. Okay, right. Okay, so I select those and I sign that. Okay, so I see as part of this window has two things, the glass and the frame. Okay, so if you have that with the other ones, the same thing. So for this one here, now tab key, go back, and I select the same problem there. That's far. I didn't like that color much of that building, so I changed a little bit. So you know, you can always adjust now as you think, as you feel like it. You know. So there were some adjustments in the colors there, and now what I realized, I forgot to have my greens for my tree. So I'm just gonna create. I have a green here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just click that color, that yellow there. So I'm kind of in the same. So now I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go up here, kind of the same, and I just have my green. Okay, so it's kind of the same level. Maybe a little bit darker, I go like a little bit darker. For my car, I also gonna use the same kind of color palette. So my car I have here. Um, and for this one, I must remember to do some other bits. Maybe the light at the front, car front light. Um, gonna make kind of light yellow. And this one is only the car body that I need to change, and I'm probably gonna make it kind of. Sometimes I just put it here because it's just to save a little bit. So the bench, the metal wood bench color, I can go for that one and darker. So now I have my base color thing, and then I can always play with this palette, you know. So it's that my initial palette. I can see I can have a cohesive look and feel. I might change. I don't like those bits a little too light, so I might change a little bit the colors here and the combination, but I'm keeping to the same palette. Okay. So how you see what you come up with? Send me your ones. I forgot the chimneys, so I'm gonna do chimneys now. Once you are happy with your colors and everything, and I played a lot around it with the colors, and that's what I decided to go with. I mean, you can spend a lot more time, but I think for the purpose of the exercise, this is okay. And once you finish, you come here and you render, and then you can improve here the samples, maybe 500. I don't know, you have to test it. And yeah, keep the noise on, and then you're gonna go and then render image, and then render your image. Okay. And remember that once you do that, you need to save. Remember, when you do F12, you open a new window. So then you need to save the image. Okay. So it's still rendering. With it, I don't think it's perfect yet. I mean, I'm going to put my other one that I done. So this is my other one that I did before. It's a bit similar, yeah. But maybe I need to make the frames a little bit thicker. I'm not quite happy. So as you can see, this one is a lot thicker. You can play with it and see what you come up with. Okay. So once you do that, you can save the image. If you want to render different versions, you can come here, slot 1, yeah, and then you render, and then you come to slot 2, and then you can compare them, slot 3, and then you render a new version. Okay, so you can change the color so you can compare them. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing your renders. Please send to me. Yeah, okay.